Good morning, students. In the last class, we are discussing about biotechnology. In that, Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen, regarding Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen. So, as I already told you about the Herbert Boyer, what he has proposed. So, he has studied about the restriction enzymes. Herbert Boyer studied about the restriction enzymes which are of E. coli. Whereas in the case of Stanley Cohen, he has introduced the DNA segment into the plasmid. And that plasmid, what he has introduced the DNA segment into the plasmid, we call that as rDNA. So what is an rDNA? A combination of two different genetic materials. So here Stanley Cohen inserted the desired DNA segment into the plasmid, and he has prepared an rDNA, and that rDNA what he has prepared, he has inserted into a host, desired host. That means this is inserted in, if at all the rDNA is inserted into the host, in the host it will replicate its number. So therefore the genetic material will express in the host and gives and produces the desired product. So that is what generally in the last class we have discussed. So let us see again Herbert Boyer. Herbert Boyer, he has studied about the restriction enzymes. Herbert Boyer studied about the restriction enzymes, whereas in the case of Stanley Cohen, he has introduced, he has inserted the desired DNA fragment, into the plasmid, So I already told you plasmid is nothing but a vector. Plasmid is a vector or a carrier. So this vector or a carrier will carry our desired genetic material into the host. So after inserting the desired DNA fragment into the plasmid, then he insert to form. So what does it forms? If you insert into the plasmid, it forms an rDNA, recombinant DNA. rDNA is a recombinant DNA. So this rDNA later he introduced the rDNA into the host. So this is what Stanley Cohen has done. So he has inserted the desired DNA fragment. This desired DNA fragment we got by cutting with the restriction enzymes. So when you cut with the restriction enzymes, you get different fragments. So those different fragments, from that one of the desired DNA fragment is inserted into the plasmid to form the rDNA, recombinant DNA, and that rDNA is inserted into the host. So this was stated by Stanley Cohen, and Herbert Boyer, he has studied about the restriction enzymes. So in detail about the restriction enzymes, in the next topic we will discuss. Right. Now, so simply biotechnology means, bio means life, technology means techniques. Biotechnology, applying the techniques on the living organisms to alter or modify the living organism to get the desired product. That is what generally simply we call it as biotechnology. So in this chapter we are studying how we alter the organisms, how we introduce the desired DNA into another organism, and how to produce a desired product. That is what generally we see in this particular chapter. So the two important scientists, Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen, has initiated the biotechnology by by manipulating the genetic material. That means, that is what I told you. Those organisms which are genetically modified are called as GMO, genetically modified organisms. So these are organisms which are altered to get the desired products are called as genetically modified organisms. Genetically modified organisms. So simply to understand what we are doing, what we are studying in this particular chapter, or what biotechnology is doing generally in our daily lives, we can easily understand. So before going for the actual topic of this, all introduction part we have discussed in the last class, and about the scientists, what they have performed. So here, if you can see, what we are doing in simple steps is the desired DNA. Suppose, as I already told you, we have some character to express in other organism. So one X organism, say suppose if you take insulin as an example, if you take so this insulin character you want to insert into an bacteria, because human insulin is produced in the bacteria. So this, whatever the character what we are taking, that, say the desired DNA is an insulin, for example. Desired DNA is an insulin. This is all I'm giving an example and I'm explaining to understand better. So this is the desired DNA we have taken from humans. From the humans we have taken the desired DNA. So DNA from human pancreas, if you strictly say insulin is present in the pancreas. So in the pancreas, the DNA is isolated out. So once the DNA is isolated from the pancreas, then this DNA is cut with restriction enzymes. If you cut the DNA with restriction enzymes, it forms many DNA fragments. So restriction enzymes are those enzymes which cut the DNA internally, inside. So we also call this as, that is why we are calling it as restriction endonucleases. That means it can able to cut inside the DNA. So we call that as inside. So those enzymes which cuts inner side of the DNA, we call it as endonucleases. Those enzymes which cut exterior, outer side, we call it as exonucleases. To the periphery, if they cut, we call it as exonucleases. If it cuts inside, we call it as endonucleases. So restriction enzymes can able to cut the DNA, so how it is cutting? It cuts at a specific sequences. And those specific sequences can be present in many places in the DNA. Therefore, wherever it is present, it is cutting at that particular sites. So one DNA, large DNA is cutted with restriction enzyme to form DNA fragments. So these are DNA fragments. So how it cuts, what it forms when it is cutting, all these things we will discuss in the restriction endonuclease topic. So simply to understand, I am telling restriction endonucleases, when you are cutting, it forms into different fragments. So these different fragments, out of which, those fragments which are formed, out of which only one fragment is our interest. That means this fragment only is an insulin character. Insulin coding character is seen only in this particular DNA fragment. So you take this DNA fragment, you select this DNA fragment, or we call it as a gene fragment, a set of nucleotides, we call it as a gene. So this particular gene or a desired DNA fragment, say which is coding for the insulin, this you want to insert into another organism. So this is from humans, you are isolating. And now you want to insert this into the E. coli. Why we have to insert into the E. coli bacteria? Because the human insulin can be produced in large scale in E. coli. So E. coli is a bacteria. So you are inserting the eukaryotic gene into prokaryotic gene. Therefore, a eukaryotic gene into prokaryotic gene, when you are inserting, it cannot directly go and insert into the E. coli. It cannot transfer into the E. coli. Therefore, we have to select a vector. Vector is a carrier. Vector is a vehicle which will carry our desired DNA fragment into the E. coli. So this vector only we are using in bacteria plasmid. So the vector for bacteria is nothing but the plasmid. So you are inserting plasmid. We have already studied Cell, the Unit of Life chapter, where plasmid is an extra chromosomal material, small circular extra chromosomal material in which this DNA fragment can be inserted. So how we insert this into this vector? Again we have to cut this vector or the restriction or the plasmid with the same restriction enzyme what you are using here. So the same restriction enzyme what you are using here, again we are using the same restriction enzyme to cut this plasmid or a vector. So when you cut this plasmid or a vector, here generally there are different fragments are formed when you cut this. Here also there are chances of many specific recognition sequences can be present on the plasmid. So restriction enzyme can cut this plasmid at different places, but it should only cut at one single place. So one site. Then only it can able to insert, open. Suppose if it cuts at many sites or sequences, then it becomes into different fragments. When it becomes into different fragment, you cannot insert this easily. Therefore, if many are present, you have to remove them. So that is what we alter. We can able to alter the genetic material. So initially you have to study the sequence in the case of plasmid, and if many sites are present, many recognition sequences are present in the plasmid, you have to remove all those things. That is reconstruction. We are called that as reconstruction. So reconstructing the plasmid, you reconstruct the plasmid such that all the recognition sequences of this particular restriction enzyme has to be removed, and only one particular sequence you have to be present. So if that is present, then the plasmid will cut at a particular recognition site. Then it opens. It cuts at, you already know, it cuts the phosphodiester bond. When it cuts the phosphodiester bond between the nucleotides, then it opens. Then here, whatever the sequences which are present at these ends, same complementary sequences are also present at these ends. That is why we are telling to cut with the same restriction enzyme. When you cut with the same restriction enzyme, complementary sequences will be formed between both of them. If you cut with the different restriction enzyme, then the sequences present here and the sequences present here will be varies. Therefore, it cannot insert into the vector or a plasmid. So you have to cut with the same restriction enzyme. Now when you cut with the same restriction enzyme, here complementary sequences are present. Therefore, this can able to insert easily into this. So once it is inserted, then the plasmid with the desired DNA fragment, that is insulin gene, it is present. This is called as rDNA. So why we call this as an rDNA? Because why we are calling this as rDNA? Because it has two different genetic materials. One is the insulin gene and the other one is a plasmid. So plasmid and the desired gene both are present, so we call that as rDNA, recombinant DNA. There is a recombination between two different genetic material, so we call this as an rDNA. This rDNA, what it is formed? This rDNA should be, after forming the rDNA, then you have to insert this rDNA into E. coli. So this E. coli is a host. E. coli is a host. So in that E. coli you are inserting this rDNA. So when you insert this rDNA, say everything is doing externally outside, in vitro conditions. So in the laboratory conditions you are making all these changes, and after preparing this, then you are inserting that into the host. So when you insert that into the host with the process of transformation, then in the host what it happens, along with because you know that E. coli has its own genetic material. So prokaryotic genetic material is nothing but the nucleoid. So the plasmid also will enter along with our insulin gene in this. Now when this E. coli is growing, so you have to grow this E. coli. After inserting into the E. coli, you have to give the culture medium. In the culture medium, by giving the food, we are growing the bacteria. So these organisms, this bacteria, E. coli, Escherichia coli, will undergo binary fission to divide 1 into 2. So as it is dividing, it also replicates our genetic material, that is nothing but the plasmid, rDNA, having the insulin gene. So one copy became 2. Now again, this will again undergo binary fission to form another 2 copies. That means by binary fission, it will replicate. So as you are giving the nutrient medium, it go on replicating and millions of cells are formed. So your genetic material is also doubled, so that your genetic material also is multiplying, so that after multiplication every cell will undergo some expression, gene expression. So during its growth only it undergoes some gene expression. So when it is undergoing gene expression, it starts producing our desired product. What is our desired product now? Insulin. So insulin is produced in this particular cells. So once the insulin is produced, that insulin is purified and then it is sent into the market for commercial purpose. So that means you are producing the insulin in this particular form. So not only insulin, any changes whatever you want to do in a particular organism and get the desired product, you have to follow this particular thing. So very simple. So what we are studying in this particular chapter is only basically of 3 steps. One is, first you have to select your desired gene or a fragment. That means your character you are selecting. You are selecting your particular character. I want a particular character. Suppose in plants, if you take, I want a disease resistant plant. So in a particular plant, there may be a gene which can able to undergo disease resistance. That particular gene you want to isolate it out. So you have to select in which plant it is present, and you have to take the DNA out and you have to cut the DNA with the restriction enzymes, and you have to select which DNA fragment or which gene is having that resistant gene, that is disease resistant character is present. That particular gene, if you insert into the plant, that means again inserting into the plant is also should happen through the vector or a carrier. So this vector or a carrier in the case of plants is not the plasmid. So that is different carrier. That is called Agrobacterium tumefaciens. It is another bacteria. So Agrobacterium tumefaciens having a plasmid, that bacterial plasmid is you can able to insert your desired DNA into that Agrobacterium tumefaciens vector, and then that vector is inserted into the plant host. So different plant will get that character. So till now that plant which does not have the disease resistant character, now that plant will have that particular character. That means you are taking a character of one organism and you are inserting that character into the other organism. So to insert into another organism, you cannot directly insert into that particular organism. So you are inserting into the vector or a carrier. So when you insert into a vector or a carrier, then this will become the rDNA, because you are inserting the desired character into the plasmid or a vector. So that means it is having two different genetic materials. Therefore, it is called as rDNA. This rDNA you are inserting into the host, because this vector only can able to transfer into the host. So this helps in carrying into the host. So your desired gene is inserted into that particular host. So once it is inserted into the host, then that host is multiplied. If it is a bacteria, to get a protein or to get some insulin or some other example, some other characters or products, it can able to insert into that particular host, so that it can able to multiply through binary fission. Suppose it's a plant, directly you are inserting into the plant. So then you have to go for tissue culture. Then you have to develop into a small plantlet, and then through tissue culture you can form into different, you can increase the number of the plants. That is called somatic hybridization. So this was generally we see in the basic principles in the case of biotechnology. So simple 3 steps till now what I told. In that Herbert Boyer, what does Herbert Boyer has done? Herbert Boyer has studied about the restriction enzymes. So now you can see Herbert Boyer studied about the restriction enzymes. Herbert Boyer studied about the restriction enzymes, and after restriction enzymes cuts the DNA fragment to insert into the vector and to send into the host, this whole thing was studied by Stanley Cohen. This was done by Stanley Cohen, and restriction enzymes characters and what is restriction enzyme, all these things studied by Herbert Boyer. So this in detail we'll see. It cuts at a palindromic sequence. Where does it cuts? All these things in detail I'll explain you. So these are the initial scientists who worked for biotechnology and who has performed different methods or techniques for biotechnology to flourish. Right. So hope you understand better by this. Still, if you have doubts, you can clarify your doubts in the doubt session, and anything is there, you can make easy way of understanding. Only just I have explained like this. Better again, if you read the NCERT line to line, then definitely you can come across with this explanation. You can clearly, and by this explanation you will clearly understand those things. Right. So construction of rDNA. So both this Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen, both these scientists, they together, both Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen, Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen, both proposed the method of cloning. Till now what I told is nothing but cloning. So both together proposed the method of cloning, that is genetically engineered rDNA in foreign cells. Propose the method of cloning, genetically engineered molecules, that is rDNA. Genetically engineered molecule, that is rDNA. genetically engineered molecule rDNA in foreign cells. In foreign cells. That means foreign cells is nothing but the host. Foreign cell is nothing but the host. He has inserted that RDN into the host. So together they have performed this. So in 1972, they have first constructed the rDNA. Construction of rDNA. So keep the heading construction of rDNA. First the rDNA was constructed. So construction of rDNA for the first time in 1972. In 1972. So this was done by Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen. Those are the two scientists who has constructed the first rDNA molecule. So how they have constructed the first rDNA molecule? Let us see. So you already know that they are to construct rDNA, first we require the desired DNA. The desired DNA of interest. So what character we want? That is called as desired DNA or foreign DNA. We also call it as foreign DNA. So the desired DNA or foreign DNA, because in a plasmid, if something, another DNA, if it is inserted, we call that as foreign DNA. It is not belonging of its own. So we call that as foreign DNA. So desired DNA of interest, that is a foreign DNA, what they have taken, they have selected is an antibiotic resistant. This is an antibiotic resistant gene. This is the desired DNA they have taken. So the desired DNA is an antibiotic resistant gene. So this antibiotic resistant desired gene, whatever they have taken, that means how they can take this gene, where does this gene is present? This antibiotic resistant genes are present in the plasmids, because bacteria has both its genetic material, that is nucleoid, and an extra chromosomal material, that is plasmid. So what is the use of plasmid in a bacteria means it codes for antibiotic resistance. So any antibiotic, it can protect from antibiotics. So that particular gene they have taken. So they have taken an antibiotic resistant gene from a plasmid, and that antibiotic resistant gene, what they have taken, that they have inserted into the, this is inserted into the plasmid vector. So this is a vector. The vector is a, here the vector for the first time they have taken, they took is plasmid. They took plasmid, and this vector plasmid, what they have taken, this they have both, they have cut it with the same restriction enzyme. This and this, they have cut with the same restriction enzyme. So once they have cut it with the same restriction enzyme, you already know antibiotic resistant gene is present in the plasmid. So that antibiotic resistant gene, when you cut with the same restriction enzyme, both will have the, as I already told you, both will have the same complementary sequences. Therefore, when you insert this into this by cutting with the restriction, so this plasmid is taken from, the plasmid is taken from Salmonella typhimurium. The bacteria. The vector is taken from a bacteria called as Salmonella typhimurium. from Salmonella typhimurium they have selected a vector, and they have selected an antibiotic resistant gene from an organism called as this organism. What they have selected, that is an antibiotic resistant gene, Salmonella Panama. Salmonella Panama. So antibiotic resistant gene is taken from a bacterial plasmid that is called Salmonella Panama, and they have cut this plasmid to get the desired gene that is called antibiotic resistant gene, and they have taken a plasmid vector that is from Salmonella typhimurium. So this antibiotic resistant gene, which antibiotic resistant gene it is? It is kanamycin antibiotic. This gene can able to resist from an antibiotic called kanamycin. So kanamycin antibiotic is the desired gene which is taken from Salmonella Panama, and the vector is taken from Salmonella typhimurium. Both are cutted with the same restriction enzyme to get the rDNA, and once they have inserted, this is inserted into the plasmid, so it has to cut at one particular site, as I already told you. When it cuts at one particular sequence, then this can able to insert. So this end will have a complementary sequence to this end. This end and this end will have complementary sequence to this end. Therefore, it can form the rDNA. That means this is the kanamycin gene, that is the desired gene of antibiotic resistant gene, and here this is the plasmid. So rDNA. So what is this rDNA? rDNA, what it is formed? rDNA, what it is formed? This rDNA has two different genetic materials, so we call this as an rDNA. So this rDNA, first they have constructed in 1972, and they have transferred this rDNA into host E. coli. They have transferred into the host E. coli. So once they transferred into this host, as I already told you just now, rDNA, if it insert into the host, then the host can able to multiply by giving some nutrients, and those culture, in that culture medium, it will divide by binary fission, and then it will replicate our desired genetic material also. So this is what, for the first time, the rDNA was constructed. So construction of rDNA by Stanley Cohen, Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen, both the scientists. So Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen, both constructed the rDNA in 1972. Very important. What the gene they have taken, the desired gene is an antibiotic resistant gene that is called kanamycin from a bacteria called as Salmonella Panama, that is cutted with the restriction enzyme, and they have selected a vector plasmid that is also cutted with the same restriction enzyme, and both of them are inserted. So insertion requires an enzyme called ligase. We have studied in first year enzymes topic, biomolecules. In biomolecules chapter, enzymes topic, we have studied about different enzymes. So this ligase will forms a bond. It forms the phosphodiester bond between the two different genetic materials. So between the antibiotic resistant gene and the vector, both together they can be joined in presence of an enzyme called as a ligase. Ligase is nothing but just like a gum or a Fevikwik. It can able to attach two different genetic materials, and this rDNA is inserted into the E. coli, that is the host, and able to replicate or multiply the character. So once it multiplies, it expresses our desired genetic material, and then it produces, it multiplies this antibiotic resistant gene kanamycin and produced in large number. So that is what, for the first time, they have constructed the first rDNA. Right. So next, three steps for generally three steps of genetically modified organisms to undergo the that is genetic engineering or biotechnology. Three different steps we have to follow. Till now what I explained, that in three different steps we can able to study. That means three steps of genetically modified organisms. Three steps of genetically modified organisms. The first step, which is nothing but identification of DNA, identification of DNA with desired gene. Identification of DNA with desired gene. That means where does the desired gene is present, that particular desired gene, first you have to identify in which organism it is present. As I already told you, insulin, where it is present? In humans, pancreas. Identify that particular character, what you want, in which organism it is present. That is the first step, that is called as identification of DNA with the desired gene. What is in that DNA only we have a genes, because DNA is nothing but a group of genes, we call it as DNA. So in this particular gene, in this particular DNA, this your desired gene is present, that you have to identify. The second step, after identification, then introduction of identified DNA into host. Introduction of identified DNA fragment, identified DNA into the host. That means simply what here they are telling, whatever the gene you have identified, that you have to introduce into the host. How you are introducing into the host? Through the help of vector or a carrier. It acts as a vehicle. So through that vehicle or a vector or a carrier, you are introducing your desired identified DNA into the host. Then after inserting into the host, then it is your duty to check that this host, in that host your desired DNA should survive. That means host, the genetic material what you are inserting is not belonging to this host, therefore it is a foreign. So when it is a foreign genetic material, the host can able to break the desired DNA. So that you have to check, it should not break it. Therefore in the third step you have to maintenance of the desired DNA, maintenance of DNA in the host. Maintenance of DNA in the host and transfer to the progeny. Progeny means the next generation. I told you through binary fission it can able to multiply. So that in multiplication it produces the daughter cells, that is called as progeny. Your character, your desired gene should multiply through the progeny. That is what generally we see in the case of genetically modified. Three steps in so biotechnology, shortly whatever we have discussed, that the three steps you can able to modify the organisms, genetically modified organisms. So that is, first you have to identify it, then you have to introduce into the host, then you have to maintain in that host your desired DNA. You have to maintain by giving the culture medium or nutrient medium for the growth